Brought to you by Kellogg's, the folks who give you the widest choice of cereals in the whole wide world. All the great grains in the forms you like best. Yours from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line?
Now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, back from her European vacation, our popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
It's a great pleasure tonight to present a new guest panelist I'm sure you're going to like very much. He's a brilliant young actor who does a wonderful job in the new picture Teacher's Pet, Gig Young.
And on my left, a very old and dear friend, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now a gentleman whose column in this week's magazine is admired by millions, nonetheless most admired by me, Mr. Bennett, sir.
On my left, of course, our moderator and perpetual inspiration, Big Daddy-O, John Charles Daly.
I don't know. When I get a haircut, it doesn't cause half the commotion that Arlene's haircuts do. I can't figure it out. Well, panel, I feel good tonight. I got my mail all read, having been back a week, and I must say a lot of the letters said how nice it was to see Mr. Fadiman here in this chair and to have a chance to visit with him again. Went to a wedding this afternoon, so I'm going to be kind and easy with you. One of the boys in our newsroom on that other network, Ed Gazzarelli, and Miss Elaine Carlson get married, and we just had a reception tonight, so I'll be gentle with you. But we'll also have some troubles for you, and we'll have a mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the show. We'll meet our first challenger after this panel, just to start things off with sweetness and light, a double package. Will our first challengers come in and sign in, please? Estelline And. James Ball. That's Estelline And James Ball. It isn't. We're not tight with the chalk. I just thought you might like to get rid of it. Would you tell us, is it Miss or Mrs.? Mrs. Ball, and you are Mr. Ball, son? Son. Fine. Well, Mrs. Ball and son, would you meet the panel?
How do you
And
do?
panel, Mr. and Mrs. Ball and Mr. Ball's son. And where are you from?
Texas.
From Texas? Well, fine. Come on over and join me over here. We'll have to try. This isn't as big as Texas here, but if the three of us try hard, we can all squeeze in. And now tell me, Mrs. Ball and Mr. Ball, do you know how we keep score?
I believe so.
All right, fine. Then let's let the folks at home and those who've joined us here in the theater know exactly what your line is.
Okay.
All right. Panel, we will tell you that Mrs. Ball and her son James are salaried. And let's begin the general questioning with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mrs. Ball, do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
Do you and your son participate in the same type of work?
Yes.
Is it a type of service?
Yes.
Could anyone on this panel enjoy your services?
Yes.
Both men and women?
Yes.
Do you work in the daytime rather than at night?
You mean to the exclusion of night, Dorothy?
No, not to the
I think the
exclusion,
question is causing some confusion.
Do you do more work in the daytime than you do at night? Do you work more hours in the day than, let's say, after 6 o'clock at night?
No.
No, that would be one down and 9 to go. Mr. Young.
You do not work more hours at night than the daytime?
No, the question was, do you work more hours in the daytime than at night?
I
The
see.
answer
See,
was
I
no
my
to that.
first time out. Are your services enjoyable?
Yes.
They are enjoyable.
Yes, I would think that the hope of Mrs. Ball and her son is that the services received by those who are on the receiving end would be enjoyable, yes.
Yes. Would we come to you for the services, or would you come to us?
Well, that can't be answered yes or no, Gig. You want to leave it at the first half?
Yes.
Yes.
The first half.
We
Well,
come to
go
you
ahead,
for your services.
Arlene. Take it over.
You pass?
I pass, huh?
You're so attractive, it doesn't matter.
You've been I can feel a heart beating from here.
No, that's mine.
Nicely spoken, Mr. Young.
Is this, whatever you do, you say it is enjoyable, would it be in the class of people coming to you for a quality of entertainment of some kind?
Yes.
Yes. More than 3 or 5 people might come at once to enjoy your performance, whatever it is.
Yes.
Do you perform together in this that you do?
No.
That makes it 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Have you ever done the work, Mrs. Estelline Ball? Have you ever done the work that you do in either a circus, sideshow, or carnival?
Yes.
Would it be some kind of exhibition that requires physical dexterity?
No.
Small conference. Wow. Fall back and regroup. You all go ahead and tell each other about Dorothy's trip to Europe.
Dorothy, you saw My Fair Lady in London, didn't you? How was it?
I bet, unawkwardly, it's fun, too.
Have you come to a conclusion?
We've come to a conclusion. I think that this is a marginal area, but we will admit that if 'twere done properly, that there is a measure of dexterity required.
Well, do they do it properly?
Yes.
When either of you do not do this work together, I understand.
No.
That question was asked.
Yes,
No, they do
but
not.
is it the same kind of work that you do?
Yes.
It is. Does this act that you perform, which I presume it must be, require the use of any kind of animal?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mrs. Ball, in your work as divorced from your son's work, do you ever stand in one place and have people look at you?
This calls for a conference, maybe.
Oh, we'll have another
Oh,
conference.
you just like it.
You get to Switzerland now, Dorothy. Everything will be all right in a bit.
But, I mean, how do you ask somebody if
You get a yes, Dorothy.
Yes.
you sometimes stand still,
Mhm.
and people just come and look at you?
Mm-hmm.
Does the same apply in perhaps a different way to your son? Do people just stand and look at him sometimes, too?
I would.
Well, is there something about you that we can't see now or that you're not doing now that would make you an attraction at a carnival?
Yes.
I say so,
I
yes.
hope so.
She's not bearded, that's for sure.
No, and she doesn't look very tattooed. Would you be in the sideshow part of a carnival?
Yes.
Yes.
Can either one of you either swallow anything unusual or tie yourself into knots?
Yes, I think so.
But
One of those, huh? Want to see me pick the wrong one, Jake?
Would you?
No, yeah, you've got it.
Does either one of you swallow swords or fire? Properly, I hope.
Swords or fire. Now, you want to go on from there?
Well, I might as well. All right, fire.
Fire. That's
No.
the girl. 4 down and 6 to go. I know we'd make it. Gig,
I beg your pardon?
it's your turn.
I just got to know.
I thought we had it.
No, I got to know.
It has to be swords.
It has to be swords. You're right, Gig Young. Very good. Take over some more. Actually, thank you both very much.
Won't they do it for us now?
No, I'm afraid we don't have all the swords
Do
here.
they both do it at different times?
And different places.
Oh.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Did Mrs. Ball teach her son how to do it?
Thank you very much.